Hello, in this video I will be sharing some advice and strategies for clearing the Tower of Nightmares in Guild Wars 2. This is a public instance encounter similar to Dragonstorm or Convergences that can be accessed by talking to Tactician Steelbreaker at Thunder Ridge Camp in Kessex Hills. I've noticed that a lot of inexperienced players tend to struggle with this content when they try to do it as part of Living World Season 1. Many people suggest just skipping the story step by donating pristine toxic spores to Sergeant Walters, but that can cost around 3 gold, which might be a lot for a new player. Also, I think the Tower of Nightmares is a good opportunity to practice dealing with more challenging encounters, closer to what you might find in Fractals or Raids. I recommend bringing a build with multiple stunbreak or stability skills, a good amount of personal sustain, some condition cleanse, mobility, and decent damage. Most open world Celestial builds will work great here, or you can try a self-sufficient power build such as Untamed or Scrapper. You do not need raid level DPS to clear this content. At the start of the instance, talk to the travel golem to enter the tower, then use a cannon to break the toxic offshoots. You can also run bombs over to the cannon at the ground level, but I find the cannon to be faster and less effort. A couple of enemies will spawn nearby, which you can quickly kill and then go back to spamming cannon shots. You will also notice that you have a special action skill, Antitoxin Spray, which will remove toxic pollen, cleanse 3 conditions, and heal you for each condition removed. I will go over what toxic pollen is later, so just know that your special action skill is good to use anytime you have conditions. It can also cleanse nearby allies if you are doing the tower as a group. Once you are done breaking the toxic offshoot, you can go to where it was to harvest your pristine toxic spore, then continue onward. Now we will encounter 2 more mechanics, which are toxic pollen and the laser. Toxic pollen is a debuff that you get when you are near toxic stalks, denoted by the purple leaf icon on your bar. Toxic pollen will keep you in combat and occasionally summon hallucinations or fear your character for 1 second. You should try to be ready with the stun break in case a fear happens when you are fighting strong enemies. The laser is a slowly charging AoE that will damage and launch any players caught in its radius once it fires. You can easily move out of the laser or dodge when the red section has almost completely filled the orange circle. In this hallway, you will also encounter a large number of toxic mines which will quickly charge up and explode once a player enters the radius. Similar to the laser, you can either move out of them before they explode or dodge the explosion when it happens. Now you will find the veteran toxic Warlock, which is not particularly threatening. It has one ability where it will veer up and try to pull surrounding players, but you can easily dodge this or allow yourself to get pulled. Keep dodging the laser as you kill the Warlock, since you will need to keep doing this in every fight going forward. You may have noticed that I am running past most of the mobs. This is because they will respawn after a while, so there is not much point to killing them, even if there are other people in the tower. This is why I recommend bringing mobility and condition cleanse, so that you can skip mobs and catch up with any groups that are ahead of you. Mobility is also useful for moving out of the laser or toxic mines before they explode. The next area has an event where you need to destroy 3 portals and kill a certain amount of mobs to deplete Toxic Alliance morale. The most dangerous enemies here are the veteran Toxic Husks and elite Toxic Kraits. The Husks have 2 annoying attacks, one where they stomp the ground and summon roots to immobilize you, and one where they leap and knock you down. Elite Toxic Krait generally do a lot of damage and either apply conditions, reflect projectiles, or summon hallucinations. I recommend killing the Elite Krait and Veteran Husks first before the other enemies. After finishing the event, you can collect the pristine toxic spores that spawn, and then double back to go up a ramp to the first nightmare pod. These will take you to a new area with some mobs to kill. Here you will need to clear out 2 events worth of mobs, then fight a random champion hallucination with unstable magic abilities. Unfortunately, I will only be able to showcase 3 of the champions in this video, and some of them are more difficult than others. As a general rule of thumb, just dodge away when they start channeling big abilities, such as Sierran's Meteor Shower, Orgul's Whirling Axe, or Trahearne's Whirling Wrath, and you should be alright. This time we have gotten Tybalt, who wields a flamethrower and will basically just spam the flame jet auto attack at you. He doesn't rotate once he starts attacking, so you can move around him to avoid most of the damage. Sometimes he might use a discontinued flamethrower skill called Backdraft to try and pull you, but it's easily negated by stability or stunbreaks. He can also drink Elixir X and turn into a tornado, which can be pretty funny since he still attacks with Flame Jet in tornado form. If that happens, just kite him around until the tornado expires. When he goes below half health, Tybalt will start running away to the edge of the arena, so you will need to follow him around or break his Defiance bar to stop him from moving. Once the champion is dead, break the 3 cages, collect your loot chest, and go through the portal. Congratulations on clearing the first floor.
Just couldn't stay away, could you?
The next area contains a bunch of spiders and spider webs. After the first group of mobs, there is a spider web that will immobilize you and spawn some spiders if you touch it. You can interact with it to clear the spider web without being immobilized. Down the hallway, there is a spider egg on the right that will pop and release spiders if you get close to it. Just stay to the left side and move forward. You can clear another spider web before destroying the first spider web prison. You will need to destroy 5 of these prisons to finish the event and proceed to the next area. Be careful as there are a lot of mobs around. Now we will fight the first boss of the second floor, which is the champion Toxic Spider Queen. She has 2 attacks to watch out for. Her ranged attack, where she spits an undodgeable web at a distant player to trap them in a cocoon, and her melee attack that launches players back. The cocoon can be negated by stability, or you can stay near the boss so that she doesn't use it on you. The melee attack can be blocked, dodged, or sidestepped. The Spider Queen will also summon a bunch of toxic mines around her, and the laser will still be targeting you, so it's very easy to get stuck in a chain of CCs and go down. My advice is to bring stability and be aware of your positioning. Remember that you don't need to immediately dodge out of every laser, and that you can step in and out of toxic mines to set them off early. Just stay calm, deal with each mechanic appropriately, and you can easily defeat this champion. With the Spider Queen dead, you can proceed past some mobs to reach the second boss of this floor, the Champion Toxic Wurm Queen. The Wurm Queen is much easier than the Spider Queen. She will alternate between two attacks. She will slam the ground and send out shockwaves that can launch players, or she will spit goop at players. The worms around the room will also be spitting goop at you, but you can just move out of the AoEs. If you are in a group with 4 or more players, she can also do an attack where she swallows you and locks your skill bar temporarily before spitting you out. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate this attack since I have no friends, but she will always turn toward you before doing it, so try to dodge when you see that happen. Otherwise, this champion is basically a glorified DPS golem. After killing the Wurm Queen, go down the path that just opened and skip the mobs, then follow a series of ramps and bridges to reach the next Nightmare Pod. You will see some more spider eggs on the right side that pop and release spiders if you get close to them, as well as another spider web that you can interact with to clear. Be prepared to use stability or dodge the laser in this section, as it can easily knock you off the bridge. As before, kill 2 events worth of mobs, then prepare to fight another random champion with unstable magic abilities. Sometimes you can also get a spider web between the first 2 chambers in Unending Nightmares, but unlike the ones in the regular tower, this one can't be interacted with, so you will need to cleanse or wait out the immobilize. This time we are fighting Horrik, who is one of the easiest champion hallucinations. He will alternate between shooting a bunch of fireball AoEs out of his cannon and slamming his cannon on the ground to knock players back. You can just move out of the AoEs and dodge, block, or stability the knockback. With another champion down, break the cages and collect the loot as before, then proceed through the portal to the 3rd floor.
You don't know who you face.
The first event on this floor is another one where you have to destroy 3 portals and kill mobs to deplete Toxic Alliance morale. The first and third portals can be awkward for melee builds, since they are high off the ground, so you may have to jump while attacking to hit them. I recommend slowing down in the room with the second portal, because there are many mobs on the ramps above you, and they will come down to attack you in a large group. Take your time to cleave out mobs with the second portal before proceeding up the ramp to the third. The priory NPCs near the third portal will also help you damage it, and they can actually destroy it on their own if you take long enough. Afterward, turn back and take the other ramp to continue further into the tower. If you are unlucky like me, you may get feared off the bridge by toxic pollen and have to walk back up. But it shouldn't be too bad if you cleared some of the mobs earlier. Next, you will have to run down a long hallway full of skippable mobs. Some of them will try to immobilize you, such as the toxic spiders which will spit webs at you, or the hallucinatory thugs that will throw anchors at you. You can dodge these attacks or cleanse them with your special action skill, then continue onward. In the following area, you will need to kill mobs to deplete portal energy and complete the event. This is fairly easy, and if you have made it this far into the tower, you should not have any problems. The Twisted Reavers will sometimes throw mines that explode and daze you, and the Twisted Horrors can leap and knock you down, so have your stunbreaks or stability ready. We are now approaching the last fight of Floor 3, which is the duo of the Champion Toxic Wurm Queen and the Champion Toxic Alchemist. These bosses are fairly difficult since you have to fight both at once, so I suggest stopping to kill any mobs that are following you before you enter their room. The main challenge of this fight is that you need to kill the two champions within 30 seconds of each other, or the first one that died will revive with 50% of its health. I will show you a way to cheese the Alchemist that makes this fight a lot easier. First, you want to aggro one of the Nightmare Court enemies, preferably the Knight since he is melee and will walk over to you on his own. If you also aggro the Wurm Queen like I did, you can simply walk into the corner to drop her aggro. Next, you will need to down one of the veteran Nightmare Court enemies in this corner, then aggro the Alchemist. The Alchemist will come over and try to revive the downed enemy. She prioritizes this over attacking, so she will just keep reviving the enemy no matter how long it takes. Do note that she doesn't always start reviving them right away, so you may need to wait a bit for her to do so. Once she starts to revive, all you need to do is keep hitting the Alchemist and the downed veteran, while being careful not to fully cleave out the latter. If done properly, this strategy allows you to reduce the Alchemist's health while she is busy reviving and can't fight back. Keep in mind that the toxic mortars around the room are going to shoot at you the entire time, and other enemies will occasionally respawn and also attack you. In theory, the easiest way to solo this fight would be to continue this strategy until the Alchemist is almost dead, then kill the Wurm Queen before coming back to finish off the Alchemist. However, this method can be unreliable because you or someone else might accidentally cleave out the downed veteran, so that the Alchemist stops reviving, or maybe your allies simply don't want to choose the boss. I will now show you what to do if the veteran ends up dying. If you aren't choosing the Alchemist, I recommend focusing the Wurm Queen first instead. This is because the Alchemist tends to move around and use crowd control skills, so she is more troublesome to kill. Even if you get her to low health, the Alchemist might stall you by summoning toxic mines and knocking you back with her shield. Meanwhile, the Wurm Queen is stationary and predictable, making her easy to kill. So if you are not going to fully choose the Alchemist, I would suggest getting the Wurm Queen to around 5% health, then killing the Alchemist, and then finally finishing off the Wurm Queen. At this point I've gotten the Wurm Queen to about 5%, so I'm swapping targets to the Alchemist. Unfortunately, the bosses are now stacked on top of each other, which is not good because the Wurm Queen has less health. I need the bosses to die around the same time, so I can't be cleaving them both at once. Fortunately, I can just down a Nightmare Court veteran to lure the Alchemist away, and while I'm doing that, I might as well use the cheese strategy from earlier to kill her. Something I forgot to mention is that you can jump over the Wurm Queen's shockwaves. If you've done Raid Wing 7, it's pretty much the same as that one attack Kadim the Peerless does, except poorly telegraphed and much slower. If you don't have enough dodges to evade every shockwave, or don't want to move from your position, you can jump over them instead. And now we can just kill the Wurm Queen and the fight is complete. I think this tends to be the hardest part of the tower for most players, but as long as you deal with boss mechanics, don't get hit by too many CCs, and manage your positioning, it's not too difficult. Next, follow this path on the left to the third nightmare pod. Watch out for a toxic mine hidden behind a wall just before you reach the pod. For our last fight in the tower, we are facing Trahearne, who is one of the most challenging champion hallucinations and a suitable final boss. He has a ranged attack where he shoots lightning at you, a knockback similar to Mesmer's illusionary wave, a knockdown similar to Warrior's backbreaker, and a spin attack similar to Guardian's whirling wrath, except it also reflects projectiles. Be careful when fighting him and try to block or dodge his whirling wrath. This Trahearne also happened to get hammers as one of his unstable magic abilities, so he has quite a lot of CC. As you can see, I was careless and greeted DPS a bit too hard here, so my health actually went somewhat low. This is why it can be nice to play a Celestial build or something with high sustain when soloing content like this, since it allows you to easily recover from mistakes. With the final champion dead, all that's left to do is to destroy these 3 cages, collect your chest, and take the portal to the top of the tower. You will also receive a bouncy chest containing a tri-color key, which you can use to open the tri-key chest at the top of the tower. Congratulations on clearing the Tower of Nightmares. If you made it this far, I hope this video was helpful for you. My build link will be in the description along with the text version of the guide. Thanks for watching. Bye.